Hey guys, Bob Moses here, and today we are playing GTA San Andreas Multiplayer on the Welcome to Los Santos 2 server, and we are going to be talking all about meth. So if you ever wanted to get into cooking meth, this video is going to be the one for you. We're going to go through everything from how to find and buy a meth lab, how to get the supplies for those meth cooking, and then how we go about cooking meth by yourself and with other people, and everything you ever wanted to know about meth, we're going to go through in this video. So buckle up and let's get started. So if you want to buy a meth lab, you're going to be looking for trailers, kind of like the ones in front of us. And most of the time, you're going to find them out in the countryside in Blueberry or out here in the desert. But you are also going to find some inside Los Santos proper within the city. But I don't really recommend that you buy one of these ones because, as you'll see later on, the cops can become a little bit of a hassle. If you want to learn about cooking meth or anything about meth, just go /help and search for meth. And this is going to tell you kind of everything you need to know about it. But the basics are that you can cook meth and you can use meth to restore some armor. You're also going to increase the amount of meth that you can cook by the number of skills you have, and you're going to increase your skills by either assisting with meth cooking or cooking your own meth. And then you're also going to be able to sell your meth at the Clucking Bell. You'll get like a random message from an unknown number, and you're going to be able to sell your meth there. But you can get more selling it on auction, so don't worry about it. And you're also going to be able to check your skills by going /stats and going down to drugs, and then you'll be able to see how many meth skills you have, which is usually related to how many batches of meth you've cooked and how many grams you've done from those batches as well. The good thing to know before you get started with cooking is that there's actually a diploma that you can get that's going to increase the amount of meth you cook per batch. So I would highly recommend that. It's going to give you a bit of a head start. So even if you don't have full skills yet, you can still increase the amount. Check my video on the diplomas if you want to know more about that. And then if we want to actually go and find a meth lab to purchase, basically if you go up to one of the house icons and you go /house, it's going to give you the info of it, and we're looking for the interior of a trailer. So any house you see with a trailer interior is a meth lab, and you're also going to be able to find them on Dynasty Real Estate. So if you find a house and you want to know if this house has a meth lab on it, check the description because they usually mention something about meth. So this one, perfect for cooking meth, that's a meth lab. So trailer or mention of meth on the website, you're good to go. So one thing we want to be careful about, and why you don't really want to buy a meth lab out in Los Santos, is that the police can find you when you're cooking meth. So even though you're in an interior, if there's a police officer nearby, it's going to be highlighted on their radar, as you will see. And it really pops out, so any cop in the area is going to be very much alerted to it and going to come check it out. So my meth lab out here in the desert, I think I've had a cop come past once in like the months I've been cooking out here. So you definitely want to get it out in the countryside. But if you're a cop and you see the little green icon on the map and somebody's cooking, they're going to pick up 2 stars for that. Even if you don't go right up to them, they're just going to get the stars on them anyway. And then you're going to be able to go inside their meth lab, and then you can bust them while they're cooking. If you want to be a nice guy, just let them finish cooking because it's such a hassle to get arrested and then have to start that again. So be the good cop, wait for them to finish cooking, and then arrest them if you really want to. In order to cook meth, you're going to need supplies. There are 4 different types of supplies, and you're going to need to go through different things to get them. So this one that I'm getting is the hardest one to get, and you're going to have to steal them from one of the 3 military bases, either out here in Las Venturas or the restricted area or the military base in San Fierro. And you just got to be really careful because these NPCs can really melt you. So just be careful, get a sniper rifle, keep your distance, but it's also a nice little opportunity to pick up some free M4s while you're doing it. And yeah, once you pop them all off, you're going to be able to steal some barrels and pick up some stars for that. Once you've got it, you can either go and evade or just drive straight back to your place, and you're going to restock that item, get a little bit of XP for that, and then on the supplies that will be fully stocked. And then you're going to use a little bit of those supplies every time you do some cooking. The next supply run we're going to do is for the gasoline, which is also the easiest one to do because you don't get any stars for this one. It's also the only one that you don't get stars for. And when we start this one, all we need to do is go down to a gas station, and very much like making Molotov cocktails, we're just going to go up and fill up the jerry can with some fuel, and then it will just take a couple of seconds, and after we've done that, we're going to go back and that will have restocked that one for us as well. Some of the supplies actually have multiple locations that you can collect them from. So for this one, we are going to have to go and search for some barrels, and there's actually, I think, 2 different locations for this one. So if it's too far, you can try do a quit mission or leave mission and then start it again, and maybe you'll get a different location. In this instance, I didn't, so I just went ahead and drove all the way down to Whetstone. And to do these ones, depending on where you are, you're gonna need to be careful about collecting the barrels, because you do need to find them, and sometimes they can actually be quite difficult to find. And what you want to do is first find both of the barrels before you collect them, because the minute you collect one of the barrels, you're going to get stars on you. That's one of them over there. And it's not really a big deal for this one because you're out in the countryside, there's no cops around. But if you're doing one in Los Santos, you don't want to get stars and then be running around for a couple more minutes trying to find them. And sometimes they, like I said, they can be a bit of a hassle to find. But yeah, we've got both barrels. So once I collect, I'm going to get stars, and then just run on over, collect the other barrel, and then get out of there. So for this one, I actually decided just to ditch the car, and I got myself an aeroplane on the way back just to speed it up a little bit. So for our final supply run for meth, I think it's methylamine, can't remember how to pronounce it, we're going to go down to Ocean Docks. Again, for this one, I would recommend getting a helicopter, not only because it's quite far to go, but you're going to pick up stars and you're going to want to get out of there quite quickly. So we're just going to trigger the mission to start, and then we're going to head on over and drop the container. You want to kind of keep the chopper close to you because you never know when there's going to be cops hanging around close by. So as soon as we get the stars, we're going to just hop in the chopper and then get out of there. For this one, I think somebody was doing like a heist setup or something, because there were some NPCs hanging around, but they're not part of the mission, so don't worry about them. There will be no NPCs on any of the missions other than that army one that we did first. Grab the barrels, pick up stars for that, and then we're going to get out. So once we've got all the supplies set up, it's finally time for us to start cooking some meth. So to do this, what we're going to do is go over to the meth lab, and we're going to have to mix 4 chemicals together. So what you want to do is try and get it as close to the line as possible for each of them, because the better you mix them, so the more accurate you are, the higher your purity will be. And once we've added the chemicals together, we're going to hold down space, or more like tap space, to try and keep the temperature between the red and the blue lines. If it goes over the red for too long, it's going to blow your lab up, which is going to damage you quite a lot, could even kill you. And it's also going to make you have a bit of a cooldown on the lab, I think for about 5 minutes. It's really easy to blow up your lab, so it doesn't have to go over that red line for long, literally a few seconds, and then it will blow you up. And if it goes below the blue line for too long, your purity level will go too low. And if it gets too low, that batch will be failed, and you're going to lose the ingredients for that as well. So keep it between the blue and the red. What you see is that they alternate. So first the blue will go up, then the red will come down, then the blue will go up. So if you know which one's going to be moving next, you can kind of just keep it closest to the other line. And you want to try to keep your purity levels up, but it doesn't really matter. So even though you can get as low as like 65%, it doesn't really matter, because we're not going to be selling the meth to the clucking bowl. So the actual meth quality doesn't have an impact. You can still sell it for the same amount. You still get the same amount of meth per batch. the purity literally only matters for the title, which is to get Heisenberg at 99.5% or higher, or selling at the clicking bell. You can also help somebody else cook, assisting them. I'm going to speed this one up a little bit so you don't have to watch a whole cook. And basically, when somebody else is cooking, you can assist, and every time you see a green puff of smoke, you're going to add chemicals, and by doing that, you can lower the amount of time it takes for them to cook. So each batch of cooking takes an hour of in-game time to crystallize and harvest. So if you help them cook, you can lower that time, I think by 15 minutes, if I recall correctly, and you're also going to get paid. Just make sure you stay on the table until your person has finished cooking. So don't leave once you're out of chemicals. You just want to wait. Eventually, after an hour, you're going to get a little message like that one down on the left-hand side to let you know that your meth is ready, nice and convenient on your organizer. And then you can go over to your lab and you can crack the crystallized meth and you'll then collect it. That takes an hour. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed that video. Hope it was informative. Hope you got all the information you need on cooking meth. If you got any questions, put them down in the comments below. And until next time, this is Bob Moses signing out for SAMP Stories.